So over the last 5 years or so, I've probably spoken to thousands of entrepreneurs. I've built personal brands for 250 people, and we've worked with everyone from the likes of founders that are just starting their business right at the start of their journey through to senior leaders at the likes of Salesforce, KPMG, McKinsey, big companies around the world. And what I've noticed, especially over the last 1 or 2 years, speaking to all of these amazing founders, which I'm so fortunate to be able to do, is that more and more people are struggling for lack of opportunities than ever before. And what I'm seeing in the market right now is that marketing costs are going up. It's more and more expensive to market, more expensive than it's ever been. Competition's getting really fierce. There's lots more competition out there. Customers seem to have stopped buying. The consumers' purse strings are a little bit tighter. They seem to have stopped buying, and investors, annoyingly, are pulling back. And it feels like scrutiny has skyrocketed, right? The amount people are investigating you and your business before they actually buy from you, work for you, or invest in you has just skyrocketed. And what that means is that acquisition is drying up. It's really hard to actually acquire new customers. Raising investment is harder than ever, and cash flow is declining. And it sucks, right? I know it sucks. I know it sucks because you've probably got an amazing product the world needs, and from some of the conversations I've had here today, there are some amazing products out there. You've got competitors that aren't actually as good as you, but seem to be doing all right, and you constantly feel overlooked, even though you've actually got quite a lot to offer. I think it's the hardest time to be an entrepreneur ever. I don't think there's been a time where it's been harder to be an entrepreneur. Because the world today is very different to how it was 10, 20 years ago. Industries are very accessible nowadays. Pretty much anyone can enter a new industry with relative ease. Marketing channels are becoming saturated. And consumers, they're really skeptical right now. Trust is at an all-time low. In fact, PwC have been studying trust for years, and what they found in a number of studies they've run on trust over the years is that the difference between how much we think customers trust us and how much they actually do is enormous. So this is a study where they surveyed business execs and they asked, how much do you think your audience, your consumers highly trust you? And 90% of them said they're highly trusted by their audience. They then asked the consumers of those businesses how much they trust the companies, and it was only 30%, leaving this enormous 60-point trust gap, which has gone up, by the way, since 2022 and 2023. And for me, I think this is only going to keep going up. No wonder PwC are calling trust the new currency for business. For me, I think we now live in a reputation economy where if you don't have trust, you don't have a business at all. At the same time, the market's getting more crowded than ever. There's more competition, more noise, and more skepticism. So it'd probably be strange if I was then to tell you that I also think this is the greatest opportunity we've ever had as entrepreneurs. It's not all doom and gloom. I think it's the greatest opportunity because we've never had a chance to reach, influence, and connect with people like we can today. And we can do it from small little devices that fit in our bags and our pockets. Today, you are your business's biggest asset. Because whilst your market might be crowded, no one can replicate you. Okay? We did that Ikigai exercise in the last session. I guarantee no one's Ikigai in this room will be the same as somebody else's. It's really, really difficult to replicate you personally. And what's more, people actually trust people way more than they trust faceless companies. There's a study that shows that it's literally ingrained in our evolutionary psychology to trust other human beings. Okay? We are built to trust other humans. It's just that trust has been eroded over the years. So we've got to build it back up. And by the way, this is nothing new. People have been trusting other human beings for 20 plus years, forever in fact. It's just taken a slightly different form. Whereas in 2005, businesses built trust through human faces by using celebrities. They'd spend $20 million on a 3-year campaign with David Beckham. In 2010, as social media started to rise, it became influencers online, who are the way that brands connected with people. In 2015, it was more about creators, and then 2020, the micro-creator was born. Well, now in 2025, the opportunity is founder brands. More and more consumers want to actually understand who is behind a business. They want to consume content, and they want to get to know the founders of the business. So today, you're the #1 marketing channel for your business. You are. It's no wonder some of the biggest entrepreneurs in the world are all investing loads of time and effort into doing this. If they think it's a good idea, it probably means it is. The stats back this up as well. The stats on this are crazy. 81% of people trust a company more when their senior management team are active on social media. So when you as founders or a senior team are posting on social media, 81% of your customers will trust you more. It's not just customers, it's talent as well. 86% of UK job seekers prioritize personal brands when they're evaluating which employers to work for. So if you want to be attracting top talent, you need to be building trust with them. It's investors too. 87% of investors say a well-developed founder brand is a significant factor in their investment decisions. Okay? And I don't blame them, to be honest, because if I was going to be putting my money into someone, I'd kind of want to trust them. I don't know about you guys. So investors are looking at this too. No wonder global executives worldwide, on average, believe up to 45% of a company's value is attributable to the CEO's reputation. The stats are clear. Personal branding and building trust is really, really important. What does this all mean? Well, more trust means more customers, it means better talent working for you, and it means more investment. The thing about trust, though, is that nowadays trust has to be earned. So how do you earn trust? Well, Google actually distilled this into somewhat of a science in their 7-11-4 study. So they ran a study, they analyzed over 1 billion data points in this study. And Google found that for someone to trust someone else, they need to consume 7 hours of content or have 7 hours of interaction with them across 11 different touch points in 4 separate locations. So what that means is someone has to have 7 hours of contact time consuming content or speaking to you, 11 separate instances, so those 7 hours have to be split out across 11 separate instances and in 4 different locations. That could be on social media, that could be in person, that could be an email, that could be on a video call. And if we can build up those touch points, we're going to build far more trust with our audience. And trust is earned through these repeated positive interactions. You can build trust at scale by using your personal brand. So you can do this at scale. You can reach millions of people every single year, millions of customers, potential talent, investors every single year, and build trust with those people if you invest into what's called your personal brand. I'll pause for a minute because what the hell is actually personal branding, right? Elephant in the room. Personal branding is not about necessarily being an influencer or a celebrity. It's not exactly the same as that. It's not about forging this false representation of yourself or being someone you're not online. Personal branding is simply about framing the skills, the experience, the expertise, the personality, the value that you already have in the best way possible. And the reason we do that is so that you get the credit you deserve. So personal branding is just framing our skills, expertise, personality, and values in the best way possible. The great thing is anyone can start today. You don't have to have a fancy camera setup or a 10-person media team to do this like maybe you would have done 10 years ago. And it's no wonder clients like ours, Sean going from 4,000 to 27,000 followers, selling out an accelerator twice, Debbie building a huge platform for some amazing work that she's doing, driving more investment for female founders, Samaya runs an e-commerce brand, generated over 3 million impressions and got TV, media and podcast inquiries within a few months of building a brand. And one founder, I've had to keep his name private, but he's actually just raised £750,000 directly trackable from his personal brand on LinkedIn. There's so many more examples of this as well. Has anyone recognize Simi? Anyone come across Simmer? Amazing guy, amazing entrepreneur, what a personal brand. He's got over 120,000 followers, I think it is, across these 3 platforms, and the content he publishes makes you feel like you really know the business inside out. And what's more, you want the business to do well. You trust him as an entrepreneur, you like him as a guy, and you think the business is great because of it. If you've been living under a rock, you might not have heard of these guys, but if you haven't, these guys have probably been in your feeds at some point in the last few weeks. Salt, run by Millie and Henry, the way they've launched their first product through founder branding has been absolutely incredible, making a huge noise in the industry, hundreds of people talking about them on a very small budget just by using their founder brands. Lottie White, again, you might recognize her, responsible for, in my opinion, the greatest moment on Dragon's Den ever, where she gave a little bit back to Stephen Bartlett. I thought it was brilliant. But she has a brilliant personal brand. In fact, someone's actually mentioned Lottie to me today without knowing that this was in the presentation. Okay? It's recognizable, she's relatable, and she builds a lot of credibility by sharing her story online. There are countless examples of people doing this well. But how do you actually do this, right? What are the steps we actually need to take to do this? Yeah, notepads and pens out. The first thing you need to think about is your profile. Okay? Your profile online, whatever platform you choose. I'm going to imagine that a lot of you're probably already on platforms like LinkedIn, Instagram. Whatever platform you choose, one thing you've got to nail first is your profile. Because your profile nowadays is kind of like your business card. But it's also like a pitch deck, a sales deck, a CV, all in one. Right? And what's more, first impressions matter. Right? People are going to judge you as soon as they come across you. It's perfectly natural. Some of you judged me when I got on stage. Perfectly natural thing to do, but we need to make sure when people are coming across us online, they're finding us online, that they're seeing us in a positive light straight away. So make sure that when people land on your profile, it says the right things about you. For example, when you land on my LinkedIn profile, for example, there are a few things that are clear. My value proposition, so actually what I do, is clear. We create thought leaders through personal branding. It's also clear why you should trust me. Because you can see I've built 220 personal brands. You can see some of the logos of the places we've been featured in and worked with. So you instantly see me as an authority on a very specific topic, and you know exactly what I do. If I had to bet, I imagine most of you here have founder at company, which is factually true. But if I don't know what your company does, and I've never met you before, it doesn't tell me much about who you are. Okay? So you really need to leverage your profile to tell your full story and to show people the value proposition you actually have in your business, what you're actually doing, and why they should listen to you. So setting up your profile, making sure it's complete, you're using all the features available, is essential for creating a strong first impression. The second thing you need to do is publish content. Okay? Publishing content is one of the best ways to grow your personal brand. Why? Because content is kind of like a 24/7 salesperson for your business. It will speak to more people in a day than you can in a lifetime. Trust me, I've done the maths. It's really difficult to compete with content. It can reach people at scale. It can build trust with people. And you post it once, thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of people can consume it. It's going to outperform all your employees as well as you start hiring. Also doesn't take sick days, doesn't need a salary, doesn't cause HR problems. Content is brilliant. Invest time in content. And there are 3 types of content that I think every founder should publish if they want to build a really strong personal brand. This is so simple, by the way, guys. This is so simple. We're going to keep it really, really simple. There's 3 things you've got to do when you post content to get good results with your personal brand. The first thing you need to do is you need to get new people to know you exist. Okay? So increase the pool of people that just know who you are. Right? That's the first step with personal brand. And we call this awareness-based content. Okay? A great way to build awareness and to get new people to know you exist is to tell your story. And these are some great examples here from Lottie, from Teddy, who's Perfect Ted, another one from Lottie, telling their origin stories, telling you how they started the business, telling you key moments from their business. And this is really engaging. You can see some of the engagement on this content is huge. They're reaching thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people with each of these pieces of content just by telling stories. Okay? You guys have these stories as well. And that's a great way to reach new people and get new people to actually care about you and your business. So first type of content, story-based content to build awareness. The second is slightly more focused on thought leadership, because once we've increased the pool of people that knows who we are, we need those people to trust us. Okay? It's all well and good having a big pool of people knowing who you are, but for me, I'm not really in it just to be famous. In fact, I don't want to be famous at all. I just want the right people to know who I am and trust me. And for this, we use things like thought leadership content. So this positions us as an expert or a good business owner. Because again, if an investor's coming across this, they probably want to know that you know your industry inside out, that you run a tight ship, that you're a good operator, that you've got good experience. And thought leadership is a great way to do it. And it's literally sharing your opinions and ideas on your industry online. A few examples here, again, from Lottie and a guy called Alex. Alex ran a company called Morning Brew. Anyone heard of Morning Brew? Newsletter, a few people heard of it. I think he sold it a few years back. I'm not sure if he's still running it. But he then went on to launch another company. And he took that second company from 0 to $1 million a year run rate with 1 tweet. A single tweet. I wish it could be that easy, right? But it's because he spent years and years whilst he was building Morning Brew documenting the whole process on Twitter. And then with 1 tweet, he launches his second. The final type of content we need to publish, the final aim of content, is to convert the pool of people that knows who we are and that already likes us and trusts us into opportunities. And that conversion, that could be an investor coming to you. That could be a customer buying one of your products. That could be a potential employee applying to work at your company, whatever that conversion is. And the reason documentation is a great example of this is because it's like storytelling, but you're talking about things that are happening now. Okay? So you're documenting the success that you're having as you have it. The reason this works so well at converting people is because it creates hype. It creates FOMO, fear of missing out. People want a slice of the cake because they can see the growth that you're having. Look at a few examples here. Alex is talking about how his company has insane momentum. He's talking about some of the amazing things that are happening at the company. But he's also making it relevant and interesting to the reader because he's sharing the process that they go through in order to do this. So it's valuable, but at the same time, you're seeing the amazing success they're having. Lottie's talks about their first month of six-figure profit. Right? As a business, that's really impressive. It's a huge milestone in the business. But for investors and customers, they're like, wow, what are you actually offering? If they've not heard of Lottie before, they're thinking, wow, what are you offering? What is the business? So it's a great way to build FOMO and get people feeling like they need to be involved. So those are three types of content, really, really simple. We have storytelling content, we have thought leadership content, and we have documentation. And if you post these three types of content, which all of you have the resources to do already, you're going to do a few things. You're going to get more people to know you exist. You're going to increase the pool of people that knows who you are. Those people are going to trust you a lot more, and you're going to create opportunities for yourself off the back of it that are going to land in your inbox. The third thing that you can do to build your personal brand is partner with other people. And the reason we want to partner with other people is that one voice is good. You can get some traction with one voice, but multiple voices is always better. It's always going to outperform the one voice. So if you can partner with people who have complementary audiences to you, whether it's podcasts, maybe accelerators, maybe peers in the industry, you both benefit from exposing each other to your own audiences. You can see here great examples. If you search Lottie and if you search Alex Lieberman, who's the guy from Morning Brew, into Google, you're met with a host of interviews they've done. Not only do these interviews create great SEO results, but all these videos, all these features, they're going to be distributing both of these people, Lottie and Alex, to their audiences of thousands or hundreds of thousands. So you can actually leverage other people's audiences to reach more people, more relevant people. I mean, one thing you can do is there's, 70 odd people in this room. There's going to be partners in this room where you can collaborate on creating content and both benefit from each other's exposure. So partnering with other people is a way to accelerate the results you're getting in a way that previously you had to have a really big ad budget for. So see if you can partner with other people in the industry. And if you get these three things in place, your profile, your content, and partnerships, you're going to create a positive first impression, you're going to build trust at scale, and you're going to convert trust into opportunity. And think about this, guys. Look, if all this did was get you a few more customers or clients, maybe help you raise a few extra thousand, attract an A player to come and work for you, or just help you stay top of mind in your industry. In fact, if all it did was give you a network that you could rely on for the rest of your career, would it be worth it? My guess is probably yes. Because having more people know who you are, like you, and trust you will never be a bad thing. I've not yet found a scenario where this won't help. I can't think of one. So if anyone's got one, I'm more than happy to be challenged. But I don't think having more people know who you are, trust you, and like you is ever going to be a bad thing. And guys, I'll leave you with this. You're already doing the hard bit. Being a founder is not easy. You're already doing the hard work. You might as well share it and get some more benefit from it.